coaches lacrosse, and these kids are on these energy drinks like crazy, and coffee and all this stuff. And so he connected me with the director, and they had a huge fundraiser and tournament, like a pickleball tournament, to raise money for the lacrosse team. The kids loved the Kinetic, and they're all interested in it. So now I'm
Yeah.
involved with the high schools here.
Uh-huh. Wow. Well, that's great.
Yes.
Really good news, Michelle. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I
Thank
love
you.
hearing that. What a huge win. What a huge update. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Okay. All right. Who else would like to share a win?
I'll share a little win. It's a tiny one.
It's
But
okay.
it was so much fun. So,
Oh.
like, I've been inching away with the business, and I have a first level BA who's really all my BAs are like really customers. Like, none of them are doing the business right now. But I do have a
Mm.
friend who she loves the skincare, and that's what she's really into right now. And she has a friend that I met recently, and I've heard all about this friend. So I feel like I know her. I feel like I know her. And so we met recently, and I was telling her about our products, and she's was really interested. So we got together, the three of us, at my friend Wendy's house, the one who's the BA,
Mhm.
and I did a product presentation for Kate. Kate's not interested in the business right now, but she wanted to hear about
Mhm.
the products. She's
Mm.
especially interested in Kinetic and Vitalite. So she's just trying those two products for now as a customer. But this
Mm.
is actually my first. She's going to be Wendy. She's Wendy's customer now, and this is my first second level person. So it's like I
Yay.
was just excited, and I was really excited for Wendy because and it was good practice for me because we sat at her house with Wendy's computer and I showed her how to sign Kate up and
Yeah.
explained a little bit about compensation. And Wendy said, I'm not interested in the business, but there's so many people who need this, who could, if I can help them and I can get
Mhm.
paid, great. So I have to kind of take it slowly with Wendy because she will get turned off if I, throw the business at her.
Okay.
So, but she has great potential. She was a professional dancer many years ago. So she teaches
Mm.
gyro. She's got people in the dance community and the gyro community and family and friends who she
Mhm.
knows could use these products. So I'm going to work
Mhm.
with her to help her learn how she can make sure she gets paid and do some presentations with her. So I'm excited about that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
that's it.
yeah, that's excellent. No, that's excellent. I love that you talked about that you're working with your first L2, because we're going to talk about building depth in your organization today. And so that's key. So I love that you shared that. I think that's just phenomenal. And yeah, what a huge win, what a huge accomplishment. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. Okay, well, I'm excited. We are going to dive in. Unless there's one more share. Does anyone have one more thing they'd like to share before we dive in?
Just one more. We have in Utah tomorrow at the corporate headquarters. We are going to have a Christmas slash meeting. When I mean slash meeting, it's not a traditional meeting. However, if you have people here, they can bring guests. We are going to be talking around. There are pool tables. It's really cool. We are everybody is bringing something. It's a potluck dinner too, and it starts at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
this is not a
Is there
presentation, you don't have to be there exactly at 6 o'clock. It's just
Yeah.
a subliminal presentation, I would say.
Okay. Is there a
A
uh
flyer.
yeah, yeah. I think Irene might have
Yeah,
one
it
if
is.
we want to share
There
it.
is a
Yeah, it's
flyer.
like a Christmas potluck guest event, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's so
Okay,
exciting.
let me put the flyer on the right side right now. Yes,
Yeah.
right there. Okay, the flyer is on the right side.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Also, wanted to share that the leadership event, I believe that they're looking to do another block since the Omni sold out. But if not, I just want to make sure everyone is like actively seeking a hotel or a place to stay for leadership now because it seems that there's a couple events going on in the Fort Worth area. So you'll want to make sure that you guys lock in a place to stay for you and your team, so you can be present for the leadership event. And next week, Christine and George and I were chatting this morning. And I think what we're going to do, just to really allow all of us to take a nice Christmas break, next week we will not have any morning calls. So between the 22nd to the 27th, you guys are free to be with your families and your friends and not worry about hopping on this call or anything like that. Although I'm going to miss all of you guys. I'm going to miss you a little bit during that holiday break, but you guys will all be on vacation officially Monday, the 22nd to Saturday, the 27th. There won't be an onboarding either. So it'll just be all next week will be off. So make the most of this week. Get your team plugged in, especially if you have new teammates. Make sure that they're attending all of the morning meetings this week, including Saturday onboarding. Okay. That'll be important for you. So no, again, I'm going to repeat this. There will be no mastermind huddle all of next week and no onboarding. So you will have all of the 22nd to the 27th off. Okay. So it'll be great. Now, of course, you can work with your individual teams and whatnot, but we won't be hosting this call next week or the onboarding call. So 22nd to 27th, you are on Christmas vacation with your family. All right. No questions about that, right? Everyone good? Okay. Because if I might be, I don't know, skiing and I'm not going to answer your call. Okay. So please have fun. Please go have fun. And I adore every single one of you. I love you all. But like, we're not having any team meetings next week. It's all vacation week. Okay. All right. And so, I mean, I'm just going to keep admitting people here. Okay. All righty. So, as far as that goes. So Christine, I just announced that the 22nd to the 27th, we're not doing any morning huddle, no Saturday onboarding. So just FYI, so everybody understands, there'll be no events for this
Great.
Legacy Makers call next week. Okay?
Thank you. And no black huddle either during that time. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
So everybody's on vacation next week. Enjoy your time and your family and your friends. Will come back fresh, ready for the new year. It's going to be great. Okay, so Tracy Smith says that Samson Lee is going to do Thursday's morning huddle. So if you guys have people that you'd like to invite to that, please do. It's going to be
At approximately 9:30.
Okay, let me make sure I mute out anybody who's sharing before we get started. Okay, so 3 things that were going through my head today. One is I wanted to go into a little bit of personal development piece just to kind of set you guys up for the week. I feel like that's always important for myself, which means it would be important for a lot of us on a Monday. The second thing is that the new presentation, I did push out a new presentation, a new slide deck with some added things in there. I'm going to be adding a leadership check match. George and I just really felt like that might be important to add in there. Now that there are 42 slides in that slide deck, if you took 1 minute on each slide, it'd be 42 minutes. And so I want you to take into consideration that some of those should be 10-second slides, right? Because a full presentation should be 30 minutes top to bottom. That would be the goal, 30 to 35 minutes top to bottom with your story, with that slide in there. So I was kind of looking at that and I was hesitant to add an additional slide. So you guys take that presentation deck, make it your own. And the third thing I was going to share with you is that there are a few broken links on the website, which is the calendar link and some other things to book. I'm going to be fixing the links today, as well as getting that updated presentation up on the ourlegacymakers.com website. Okay. So those are just a couple things. So if you're like, well, I didn't get the new presentation deck yet. Yeah, you might not until a little bit later today. If you already have it, fantastic. Whatever you're using is good, right? Sometimes good is good enough. I always say that because it's better to have something than nothing. So just don't feel like you're behind or anything like that. It's me who's going to get all that updated and push that back out onto the team website today. So you can look for updates there. Okay, so all right, let's dive in real quickly. So it's Monday, right? Okay, and I think we should all just take a deep breath, myself included. There's a few questions I'm always asking myself, and you guys might laugh, but I'm like, who am I? Where am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Okay, what's the next thing? And the reason I ask those to myself is because really, like I would, if I were to answer, I would say, oh, I'm a leader, right? I'm capable, I'm calm, I'm confident, right? Where am I? I am present, I am grounded, I'm exactly where I need to be, right? What am I doing? I am taking intentional action. I focus on what matters most. Okay. And then you want to visualize the best possible outcome for your day. So that's just a nice little morning flow. I would say, like, my conversations are going to flow like this today. I'm going to put out every call, every recruiting call I do today. It will be intentional, and I will be present and grounded and listening and calm and confident and flowing with that person. My energy attracts the right people. I show up clear, confident, aligned, right? I release anything that does not serve me. What doesn't serve you? Doubt, distraction, negativity. I choose to focus only on what I am willing to expand. What are you willing to expand? Growth, connection, confidence, abundance, right? Today, I will lead with clarity. I act with purpose. I trust the process. Where there is clarity, there is confidence. And you guys have heard me say that a million times. Where there is clarity, there is confidence. And so I want to make sure that and we make it a powerful day. I actually wrote this out so I can put these in there for you guys. So it's just a little bit of a grounding exercise before we talk about building depth in your organization, because some of you guys are brand new and you're like, well, gosh, how do I build depth in my organization, right? Who am I to do that? Am I allowed? Some of us are still waiting for permission, right? We're like, okay, do I have permissions to really build it big, or should I just continue, talking only about the product? Things like that, right? Okay, so there's just a few pointers for you there. Okay, so hang in there with me as I bounce from creating some clarity for you today and some space for you today about how to be intentional into how to have clarity and confidence and be intentional about building depth in your organization. So this is a slide deck that Holly DeMott built, and I felt it appropriate for this morning's huddle. And so I'm going to dive into some of the basics of how we build depth in an organization and how we do it quickly, because what's coming is January. If we're taking an entire week off next week, what's coming is you're going to all the seeds that we've been planting, working off the tracker form 30, all of those things that you guys have been building up to. Must have a plan, a future plan for how you're going to build it big. Are you guys with me still? Am I making sense? Okay, good. Just checking for myself. Okay. Checking for myself. All right. So let me share real quick. I'm going to open this up. Thank you for the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Okay, here we go. So how do we build depth? It's with our team and within ourself, right? With ourself. We build depth with our team and with ourself. And I guess you guys can't see that yet, can you? Can you guys see this okay? Okay. Let me move you guys up here. Okay. Doot. Okay. So in order to build depth, we need to be team focused. We are not a party of one. We're not even a party of two, although that's a really great start, right? To be core three or to have your two sets up, and that QBA, that qualified brand ambassador, allows you to be able to earn unlimited income here in three. And so with the team, some of your biggest builders will not, I repeat, will not be your L1. They will not be your personally enrolled. They will come through somebody that was enrolled by an L1, because there's no getting around that, right? We all have to build left, right, left, right, left, right. We are going to build a team of leaders who L1s, as a reminder, those are people that we personally bring on board. Okay. And that's L1. So you want to start the relationship early in the process. And by that, I mean, there's some steps for the new brand ambassador, right? You've got to be partnered with your new person. You've got to work with your sponsor, work with the team leader to curate messages and talking points for the 10 people that you put on your, she calls it a spark list. This would be your tracker form 30. So on Saturday's onboarding, I talked about working off a tracker form 30 and highlighting your top 10. Same concept to highlight that top 10 that you're going to reach out to, and be very intentional when you are working with your team leader to make sure that you're connecting them onto a Zoom or getting that three-way culture happening right away in your organization. What's three-way culture? Three-way culture is you, the sponsor or the team leader, and your guest. That's three-way culture. And on our ourlegacymakers.com website, if you go in there, it talks about, let me admit these people real quickly. It talks about, it talks about making sure that you're not working alone when you first get started. And this was something that was very scary for me because when I first started in this industry, I made a huge list of names and then I thought I could tackle all of it on my own. And I did for a little bit, but it wasn't nearly as powerful as when I was working with the team leader. When I was working with the team leader, it allowed me to be able to build much quicker, much sooner business builders, business-minded individuals because I was too scared to talk and present on the business, but that team leader wasn't. So they were helping me create that three-way culture and that community to be able to get people to see the bigger picture before I personally could. That's why you always want to work with a team leader. You want to shadow and work with somebody working off your names list for the first 30, 60, 90 days. Plus, I still do three-way calls currently. I still bring in a different team leader. I still bring in a third party for that third party credibility, right? And so you might want to say, it is best for us to Zoom. I'd love for you to meet my friend who introduced me to this. Would Sunday or Monday work best for you? I'm excited for you to take a look. The time is set. And now, once the time is set to get on that Zoom, that's when you can send them an introductory video or a vault or a landing page or whatever your process is. I know for us, and I don't know why I'm having the hardest time. I'm so sorry. Hold on. There we go. Escaping. Okay, view. All right, admit all. Okay. Okay. All right. George, is it okay if I make you co-host real quick and maybe you could help with that, the as I
Okay.
present? Thank you. Okay. All righty. Uh, okay, I'm just gonna stop and restart. Sorry, guys. Okay, hang in there with me. We're gonna get through this. Okay. All right, sharing. Sharing is caring. All right, T. Okay, here we go. Okay, so that's that first process. So making sure that you're attacking, and I say the word attack, I don't mean attack people. I mean attack the list, okay? With a sense of urgency and that you're using that three-way culture. You want to use the calendar system. You want to make scheduling easy. That's why I know I personally have a calendar link for my team. They always know how to find me, where to get a hold of me. I basically live and breathe off of the calendar because I never want to not be available. If something's not available on there, I do my best to accommodate, but I always want to be available. Okay. And then what you're going to do with this three-way culture is you're going to edify the expert, the person for the event, right? It's about building rapport because like, let's say Marcella and I are doing a call together and Marcella puts me on with a business guy. And let's say he's a, big time CEO, somebody like that. And she says, "Oh, I really want you to talk to my friend Adrianne," and she gets me on there and she's like, "This is Adrianne." And that's all she says, right? And Bob is like, "Well, who's Adrian to me, Marcella? What does that mean? Why am I here? What am I on here? I know you said that you're starting a new business or you're excited about something, but why am I meeting Adrian?" Right? So you really must edify to create that trust and that respect. So you want to edify the expert for the prospect. In other words, to build their knowledge and experience around that. So remember, the prospect joined the call because they respect you. And so you have a much higher chance to close when you create more provided value. Value for the prospect with our participation in the event you're sharing with the team. So you want to tee up the information and then send it to the prospect. So when you get on, it's not that you've had a full conversation. You haven't sent them everything on three yet. You didn't just send them a link to your website and now they know everything about three. That's not really you doing the work. That's letting the tools do the work, but you want to have a deeper connection where you're creating that trust and respect by getting them on the three-way call, edifying that team leader on the call so they understand, like, hey, why do I need to know Gary Timmons? Gary's an incredible businessman. He said yes to this business because XYZ, and he's phenomenal. He's an expert. I can't wait, Bob, for you to meet Gary. Gary, meet Bob. Bob, meet Gary. I'm going to shut up. Gary's going to come in and he's going to be like, "Tell me more about yourself. What do you do? How long have you been doing it? Oh, that's excellent. I'm so excited that you're taking a look at three as a viable business opportunity. Here's why I said yes to it. We would love to share a quick presentation with you if you're visual. Let me run through these slides with you very quickly, and then I'd love to answer any questions that you might have." And then from there, we're going to continue to follow up with tools, right? Because we're always creating value. Remember, we educate, they decide, we support. We educate, they decide, we support. That's the system. You're going to continue with a three-way text. This is set up by the brand ambassador who brought the prospect to the Connect Zoom. Okay, so when you're setting up the Connect call, the Connect Zoom, whatever you guys want to call it, you're going to end that call with a continued three-way text between you, the team leader, and the guest. Why is that important? Because it allows you to be able to track the person that you're going to be following up with, and it puts them in front of, and they understand we're working as a unit, we're working as a team, and so we're helping each other. So it's about being approachable, friendly, continued offering guidance. It is about support. Is that so they see that we have support. They might not require it all the time, right? They might not utilize the three-way chat. I always reach out. I'm like, but they know they were added. Does that make sense? They know they're not alone in three. So that's where that follow-up text starts. And then you really need to identify and know their goals and show them how to achieve their goals. Okay. You need to ask them, like Gary would be like, hey, Bob, what are some of your goals right now? Both physically or financially. Like what do you want? In other words, we're trying to identify what exactly they want, they desire, and be able to see a need, fill a need, and help them be able to achieve those goals. So we work in pods. You want to set up a regular meeting time, Zoom or in person. Know their sea animal. Do you guys remember the sea urchins? And the animals, sorry, where we talked about, are they a shark? Are they a dolphin? It's the disc training. Are they a D, an I, an S, or a C? It's that same type of training. What is their learning style? Are they going to be best in person? Are they the kind of like you get them on a call and it's like in one ear and out the other? But if you're sitting at coffee with them, they're like, okay, here's my list. Let's contact these people. Let's get this going, right? You want to be able to identify how they learn best. Would they prefer they're busy? You send them a quick link that says, hey, this is the tracker form 30, fill it out. We're going to start connecting with those people and getting them on a Zoom, right? What is best for them? And you want to engage your leaders to continue to add value. So even when we're following up after a lot of those calls, the name of the game is still how can I provide the most value? And by that, I mean, if they say my goal is to lose 20 pounds and they order a pro collection pack and you don't ever show them how to use the product usage guide, is that helpful? Probably not, right? They need to know how to use the products. They need to understand them. Now, thank goodness our system is such that it's quite easy to read, but some people don't. Some people will take six Purify. Next thing you know, they're like on the toilet, right? We need to make sure we identify their goals and we really help them. And we also identify what their financial goal is. Right now, in this economy, the biggest, hardest thing that we come up against is people who are going to say, I don't have the money or I don't have the time because they're working really hard for a dollar. They're trading time for dollars right now, and they need to see how even just participating in three on a very part-time scale of connecting and doing that first Zoom launch event, how it will provide value for other people's lives, how they can help other people while they earn. Okay, so remember the dolphin wants to have fun, the sea urchin wants more information, the whale is somebody who's slower moving, but overall is going to create great community, and the shark is that D, they're that person that's going to come in very aggressive, ready to go, ready to rock. So just remember that, right? Just know kind of their personality type as you're helping build their organization with them. Some people bring somebody on as a product user or as a customer, and they expect them to act like a builder and they don't even know how to do that yet, right? So understanding their personality type is going to help you be able to coach and train them faster, get them plugged into the way that we build. So you want to show them where to stay updated and plugged in. That would be going through the back office with them. I think that's highly underused. Like we jump on onboarding call and we're going through the basics, and I'm like, oh gosh, sometimes I'm like, I hope that you already walk them through their back office a little bit. Like show them where their orders are, help them understand SmartShip, help them see the bigger picture and what they have in front of them. Like that there is like it's a great resource, right? So navigating the back office and then helping with them with the financial rewards plan. The financial rewards plan is a personal development plan attached to it. So they're really not apart. They're one, they're not separate. So when somebody comes to me and says, I want to earn $10,000 per month, but I've never done network marketing before and I only have an hour twice a week. That's a different, now I've got to help them build, I got to help build up more belief in them that maybe in order to achieve that goal, we're going to need more than one to 2 hours per week to achieve that goal. But if they can do it simply, right, that I promise, I do believe that you can do it. I do believe that you can hit that $10,000 per month goal, but we've got to run through a tracker form 30 and we need to be consistent about how we're reaching out. So even if you only have 1 to 2 hours a week, those 2 hours need to be Zoom calls that you are inviting people to. So I'm helping them gauge the activity, right? Feel good, feel confident that knowing that that is where they need to put their focus and their time to be able to not only build their own organization, which is going to build depth into my organization, but I'm helping appropriately route them. Okay, so we talk about where your comfort zone is and where the magic happens. And so I love this because I think it's so easily forgotten that when we're sitting in front of somebody, they're probably going to yes you. If they get excited about the financial opportunity, they're like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I got it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got everything. And then they leave that meeting like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. Right. And I'm also scared. I don't know how to talk about this yet. I know she said to book three-way calls with her, but I don't even know what that means yet. You need to, in order to help get somebody out of their comfort zone, it is the baby steps. It's a little bit of hand holding that happens in this business. Don't expect everyone to just get it right away and go to work. If they do, my friends, you have a leader on your hands. Okay. You have a leader. Most people don't come into this space like that. They need a little hand holding. You're going to sit down and write the tracker form 30 with them. Let's go through your cell phone and put 30 names down on this list. Let's highlight that top 10. We're going to invite those top 10 people onto a Zoom call on Thursday when you have an hour to be on with me. When we get onto that Zoom call, you're going to edify me and you're going to be quiet and I am going to do the presentation. And then you're going to start the three-way messages after that with me in them so I can help close those deals as we continue to move forward. And guess what? We're going to do this once a week. Because if your goal is 10,000 per month, we've got to do a tracker form 30 minimum once a week and make sure that you're diligently putting those people in front of a tool that works. Why would you do that alone? We need to do that together, right? So you guys with me on that? Okay, so if we talk a little bit about the comfort zone map, like you feel safe in your little bubble, you feel safe and in control. And then there's that fear zone where they're like, I've never done this before. I don't know if I can. I don't have that much time on my hands. What if it doesn't work? I tried this once before and it didn't work. What if my Uncle Bob says I'm a loser? You know what I mean? All that stuff. Then you get into the learning zone where it's more about their knowledge, their skill set, helping them get through those challenges. That's where the hand holding comes in. And then that growth zone where you're really helping them live their dream. You've helped them find their purpose and they're on top of that goal like it's being achieved, right? And so that's why I love this because you're never going to do one without the other. The compensation plan is attached to a personal development plan. And the more confident, remember we talked about confidence or clarity creates confidence. So this is helping them get out of their comfort zone. The more clear and direct you can be about what the activity is that's going to take them to that financial goal that you're promising, that you're saying is possible, and you're walking them through that, the more confidence they're going to have to go out and do this on their own, right? People who've shadowed, who've had experience, they will do it quicker. But most people are going to need some of that hand holding to get out of that comfort zone because it is like a roller coaster. If you walk away, if they fill out a tracker form 30 and you teach them how to, connect, present, invite, and get them on, people are going to tell them no. People are going to say, I'm not interested. People are going to ghost them. People are going to be like, and they're going to get discouraged, right? They may get discouraged. Some people, I don't know anybody that doesn't have some ebbs and flows in their current traditional business, right? So we all have ebbs and flows in the way that we feel about ourselves, the way that our approach is, how the process is. Am I doing this process right? People are saying, no, not now. And some people are like, oh, I just want to try the product, but they don't have a builder yet. So it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And if they don't know how to get a hold of you, they're not plugged into the morning calls or the huddles, they're not plugged into an additional team leader, you're going to have more attrition than necessary. And we want retention. So you may have product retention, but not necessarily retention with builders in your organization, your business, because there hasn't been enough hand holding of the right processes. So like, for example, I was talking to a team leader yesterday when I was on my drive. I was driving in the car and we were talking about how she developed 12 3 stars and still wasn't where she wanted to be yet. She developed 12 3 stars. And I'm like, well, the process is right, but there's something lacking or missing in there where it's that ultimate belief that that 3 star can go build a 3 star. Are you with me on that? Some of you, have you raise your hand if you've built 3 stars? You have a few 3 stars under in your team. Okay, so you're doing it right. But are those 3 stars developing 3 stars? Yes or no? Because that's true growth. That's how you really truly build growth and depth. You remember how I say this a million times, and I know I'm repeating myself, not for me, but hear me on this. Okay, you can only bring people to the level of which you've achieved. That's how you advance, and it's how they advance. So when you go 3 star, you turn around and you make 12 3 stars. Where's that L3? Where is that? You have L1s who've gone, you need L2s and L3s developing those 3 star leaders. How are you going to do that? It's going to help get them through this. You've got to help get them through the roller coaster. They're like, well, you helped me. Oh my gosh, now I've got to turn on and help them. How do I do that? I'm still new. I don't have as much experience as you, right? They're on a roller coaster. They're not sure about it. Your goal and your job is to not only mitigate and manage your own emotions and your own belief to that they can. So I would go call the 12 3 stars today, and I would say, it's time that we develop 2 3 stars underneath you. That's how I'm going to bring up the PGV, the personal group volume, help those other people rank advance to their next rank advancement. And I'm going to rank advance, and I'm going to be earning more in the leadership check match bonuses, right? So you've got to keep your emotions in check so you can be the team leader for that brand new person, even if you've only been in 90 days before them. It's about that ultimate belief. It's trying it on. It's getting out of your comfort zone and just absolutely believing. If you have done it, and here's where I want your confidence to come from. If you have accomplished 3 star, can you create 3 stars? Yes. Right? So yes, the answer is yes. And you're like, I got this. Yes, and I got this. Don't let the highs get too high and the lows get too low. Don't circle back and be like, oh my gosh, I was helping Julia go 3 star. We did 22 calls and only 2 people said yes. Ugh, I've got 4 more to go. This is a lot of work. Okay, don't be that guy or girl. Okay, you got to manage your own expectations. You don't know, maybe the 22 people, like as you go through follow-up, you're going to capture more of that audience. All right, so motivation versus inspiration. I'm going to end with this because we're a little bit over. Motivation can be both intrinsic, right? You're arising from personal interests and values. It's extrinsic, right? Okay. Motivation is typically centered around achieving a specific outcome. You're like, I'm gonna do 3 star, right? Motivation can be short-lived or long-lasting. Inspiration is a more spontaneous and intangible force that arises from exposure to ideas. Inspiration is focused on the broader concepts, ideas, or values. Inspiration can be fleeting. It often has more lasting impact as well, though. So I like that she put this in here because you're going to be flowing through both. Sometimes you're going to be purely motivated by your goal. Other times you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I really want to help her. I'm so inspired. This is the flow of a leadership mindset. This is leadership mentality in action, literally. As you guys are building and developing, you're going to be flowing through both. Both one can make is long lasting, one's going to make a bigger impact. So the reason this is important is because you might get somebody to 3 star and you motivated and you got them to 3 star, but did you inspire them for the long-term journey, the long-term success, the next thing, seeing the path, the plan forward? Let me tell you, I love a good plan. There is nothing sexier than a really good plan, but that plan is attached to the way I feel about it. That's inspiration. Are you guys with me? The motivation is to complete the plan, and the plan is super awesome and it's sexy and it could end up being 6 and 7 figures, right? But the inspiration is like, how many people can I help get to that goal? How many people am I going to change their life? You know what I mean? I can't wait to be standing on that stage as a 4-star, earning, $250,000 a year. What have I done to earn that? I have inspired and motivated, but mainly inspired them to see that greater vision. That's why we have vision boards. Okay, so I want to stop with that right there because that's the last thing. But so that is how you build depth. It's the motivation, the inspiration working as one, but really it's more the inspiration. It's creating a really sexy plan. You do not need to go outside of what's already developed. You must create 3 stars. There is no way around it. And so the reason I get excited about that, and I would push that out to as the sexiest plan of all, okay, for that, is because it is. Your life will change through the leaders that you develop. Their lives change through the leadership that you develop. So doing some of that hand holding, helping mitigate and manage those emotions, those expectations, going on the roller coaster journey with them as the leader means I've got this. You and I together are going to earn a fortune. I became a 3-star 90 days ago, but I'm going to continue developing 3-star leaders until we're all 6 and 7 figure income earners. And sometimes people laugh at me when I say this, but we are the fastest growing team in this company in the North American market because we drive depth into the organization using very simplified systems. And this is my goal, I want to create more 6 and 7 figure income earners than any other team in the entire company. Now, I need you. You need you. You need a team of people to work with. I can't accomplish that goal on my own. That would be silly, right? That would be silly. So I have to consistently put on the 3-star hat myself, maintain 3-star active status while building 3 stars and developing depth. Okay, so we're 10:10. I don't think I could have driven that home anymore. Okay, you tell me though. Anybody have any questions, any clarifying things you guys want, anything that came up through this presentation that you're like, I don't know if I can do it. Like let's talk for a second, like because it's Monday and we've got all of next week off. So if you want to spend a little extra time, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have about developing growth in your organization through working off a list, through accepting the process of becoming a 3-star and developing 3-star leadership, even when it gets tough, even when people say no, even when you have 12 3-stars underneath you and you're not a 4-star yet. Okay, so any comments, questions, concerns, my beautiful friends, my beautiful partners and teammates? How are we going to create more 6 and 7 figure income earners in this team? Right, how to motivate those that become 3-star and now they are not working. Very good, Fotine. Why aren't they working? Did you ask them? Shannon processed me one time on a road trip. I said something and she said to me, what's the benefit of them not doing that? And I was like, there's no benefit. And I got kind of like a little frustrated. She's like, no, Adrianne, there's a benefit. There's a payoff somewhere, either for you or for them. The payoff is I get to say that I developed 3-star leaders, right? But they're not duplicating, i.e., therefore, the payoff for me is I don't have to go work harder with them because I've tried and they've told me no, right? So they get a negative response and they stop. All right, so that goes back to the roller coaster. So now you've got to come in there and be like, why do you think you got a negative response? Is that a systems piece? Is that a personality trait? Are they being too pushy? Are they not pushing enough? Are they right? So you start coming in and you really start peeling back the layers of the onion, right? On how to help them see the bigger picture and move through a negative comment. And what does that negative comment really mean, right? So I would be digging deeper into that because now you're really developing leaders. And you're like, some people are like, I don't have a degree in this. I'm not Astrid. I need to be a therapist. I'm not, I don't have a degree in this. I don't know. But you guys always bring them back to the process and believe in the plan and the process. And when you do, you can help get them through those highs and lows. And you just be like, you know
Adri,
what? It's okay that Bob said no. We're going to come back to that. Marcella, I saw you had your hand raised. Go ahead. Oh, I can't hear you though for some reason.
I'm sorry. I did do it the proper way.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, anyways, for me, this business has done so much for me, personally. It has made me more confident. It has
Mhm.
grown me. Um, not to be so afraid to talk to people about the business as I was in the beginning. And my upline has helped me so much to overcome those difficulties that I had and to grow my business and to know that I am worth everything that's out there to get what I need for myself and then to help other people at the same time to achieve their goal, to take care of their whys, their dreams, and then make my body healthier at the same time. And I appreciate every time you and your husband get on and do the Zooms. I always learn something, and I can pass it on to my team. And I'm trying to get stronger on that to communicate more. Thank you so much for your time.
You know what, Marcella, real quick, I just want to say that what you just shared with me made me feel inside that you were already qualified to help other people accomplish what you just shared. For you to go in now and be that person who can help take them through that emotional roller coaster that you've been through, that personal development process where you're building belief in them. Sometimes, you guys, it really comes down to being a great cheerleader, to saying yes when they've been told no, to putting your arms around them and saying you're in the right place, you're in the right room with the right people at the right time. No, now's not the time to give up. Now's the time to call 10 more, right? And so I think, Marcella, what you just shared, you already have enough expertise and experience now to go out and to be that leader for the people that you bring on board. Like, you don't need to wait. It's intrinsic because what you just shared, it hit me like in my heart and in my body, which means that I felt like you were qualified to do that. So when you've been led and guided in that way, it doesn't matter the time. All that matters is you come in and say, yeah, I'm here to help. Real quickly, I wanted to, has Shannon, will you just like 2 seconds? You guys, I know we're running, well, we started a little behind too, but no, we're running. Will you just 2 seconds on the reverse, the when we're talking about that, will you talk about what's the benefit so that people can understand what I meant by that? Because you do such a better job at that. Will you please?
Yeah, well, your body has a nervous system, and in the nervous system, you believe it or not, when you want something so badly and you want it to come together and you are just so one-sided on something, you tend, if you ever ask yourself, well, what is the benefit? And if you immediately say there is none, there is always a benefit to every, it's like that every action has a reaction situation. So there is always a benefit that sits in that situation. You may not see it because you are so off kilter in the body of the nervous system, right? So that it was really hard to learn all that, but it really does work. So if you can reverse engineer it a little bit and go the opposite, and you can see the benefit, the stress comes off the body and people will walk into your energy and they will want to be either near you, by you, because it's generally energy that's pushing them away. And I know this is a little woo woo, and people are like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I promise you, if you can just level that energy out, people will step into you. If you're like, you know, nobody will sign up with me or nobody will enroll. Okay, well, what is the benefit right now? Because your energy is making that happen, believe it or not. So what's the
Mhm.
benefit to your body? Well, I don't have to teach them. I don't have to encourage them. It doesn't take energy. So I'm always leveling my body so people will step into me and making sure that I am I don't have this weird energy around me where, because often I can be tired. So I'll say, what's the benefit of being tired right now? And I list all that out and then I can do more. And I know it's a little crazy, but it does work.
It's
And
not, but it's not crazy. And I think that's what it is. What you said about the leveling out is probably the most powerful piece because as soon as you accept or acknowledge that the opposite could also be true instead of fighting it, you level it. And now you're back to baseline and you can go back in with clarity and confidence. And so I think that's huge. Yeah, what you just said. It's about leveling out the energy. What's the benefit of me walking into this presentation and them not signing up with the pro collection pack? Well, okay, I'm going to be okay, right? Everything's going to be all right still. Okay, so I don't make the 350 pib. All right, fine. You level it out and all of a sudden you go in there, zero attachments,
and
and
it
you
happens.
present like a rock star. And that person's like, I really see the benefit in the pro collection pack. It's because you leveled out that energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
does
really,
work. It's the craziest thing. So, but if
yeah.
you're finding yourself saying there's no benefit, you are definitely polarized one way, and you have to get it in the middle. You have to get homostatic, right?
Yeah. Beautiful word. In the book Creating Sales Velocity by Matthew Ferry, he talks about having zero expectations. You have expectations for your goals, but you have zero expectations on them. Your expectation is to present to the best of your ability and then let the chips fall where they may. The less attachment you have to the outcome, yeah, you expect to win. I expect everyone to come on with a pro collection pack. But when they don't, I'm okay too. Does that make sense? So you leveling it out. Yeah, thank you, Shannon. That's perfect. Daryl and Wendy, you guys have something you want to share real quick?
Yeah, thank you for letting me get on here. Shannon, I just want to say bravo to you. You nailed that right on the head. I'm a people person and I'm a people watcher. If I want to go to the zoo, I go to the mall because I love to watch people. Okay, I'm just being real honest with you right here. And I sit there and I watch, and even through high school, all of it, when I'd see people that others were drawn to, I wanted to know why. I wanted to understand, oh, they're funny or they're this. No, they've got their stuff together. They feel good about who they are. They realize who they are. And that's what you have to realize. And Shannon, you nailed it on the head. You get that energy going. They used to say in these meetings, you're lit on fire. People are going to come for miles to watch you burn. And it's not a negative thing, it's a very positive thing. I've seen Adrianne with her smile ear to ear and her happy. And, we ran into her in Vegas a couple Vegases ago, and she's screaming and got her arms in the air, and everybody's looking. Why are they looking? Because of her energy. Why are they? And why are people attracted? Because of her energy. And that's all of us. You have to find that. You can't go as Eeyore and think you're going to
Right.
attract anything but other Eeyores. I mean, that's all there is to it. And I had a lady say to me a while back, I don't know why I end up with the complainers. And I just looked at her and she goes, what? And I says, you're complaining.
Mm.
And she just looked at me and she goes, I do that a lot, don't I? And I'm like, yeah, it's okay if that's what you want. If it's not, you got to change it. And I just want to say again, Shannon, that was awesome. That
Yeah.
was
Thanks,
way
Daryl.
awesome.
Yeah,
And
I think
Adrian,
like
great.
definitely, if you are level, and a lot of people will say, I don't have that high and low, but if you are just level and you are authentic in who you are, people will step into you and just be you because you are great. You're God made. You're God
Mm.
made, and you don't have to be anything more than everything you are right now. Maybe just do a little more action. That's really all it is. Instead of, thinking about it, action. Action is the key thing that gets us moving, right? So I think that's so important. And people like Tracy and Lance. I knew they were people of you can feel that from people who stand in who they are, and they just don't, there's not a lot of changing. It's just consistency, and they are who they are. And you're attracted to people like that. So, Karen, I could name a ton of people on here, but I just want you to know, like, you can feel it. You can feel it in people when they're real. And that's the key, is getting that body to just be who you are.
Yeah. Yes. Beautiful. Today was such a powerful meeting, you guys. I'm
It
really
was
happy.
awesome, Adrianne. Phenomenal job. Phenomenal slides. I took pictures.
Well, you can thank Holly DeMott for those. She shared those at the North Carolina event, and I adored them. I was like, this is so true about building depth and organization in your business, which is what every single one of you wants. It's what every single one of you requires to move forward. You don't want to just go into another track or form 30 and not have expectations of building 3 stars and developing 3 stars in your organization. You're looking for those diamonds in the rough. You're looking for 4 aces in a deck of cards, literally. Okay. That's what you're looking for. When we say you're going to contact 30, 15 are going to say yes to taking a look, and 6 enroll, out of the 6, 2 might bring on 2 or become 3 star. It's about how well you're going to guide them through that process. So I love you guys. If nobody's told you that today, I want you to go out and make it $1 million day and $1 million week. I really want you to just try on that confidence, level out your feelings, level out your emotions, and dive into that tracker form 30 and call every 3 star in your organization and say, I'm going to start fresh come January 1. Do you want me to help you develop 2 to 5 3 stars in the next 90 days come the new year? If it's a yes, just know it's not for the faint of heart. You're going to book with me. We're going to have a standing appointment that we work together your list with your leaders, not yours and theirs too. I need to see a tracker form 30. And the reason that's so important is, you guys, I don't know how to develop a leader without working off of their names list. If I don't have it in front of me, it's like I have no data. Does that make sense? It's like, who's Rachel? What did she do again? And why did she? And what did she say? Okay, let's follow up with her, right? You've got to dive in that way. We build organizations through leveraging human beings. So that's why the list is so important. Okay. All right, you guys, I adore you. Make it a great day, week. I look forward to having those links updated for you later, and the presentation as well. And we'll see you on tomorrow's call. Tonight, there's going to be a great global meeting with Holly Roush and Sarah Farnsworth. It's going to be a phenomenal interview, and it's going to be great. Thursday this week, too, I am going to do a presentation this Thursday, just like we did. I'll do it with the new slide deck if you want to invite people on. It's the same Zoom, 7 p.m. Central. All right. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.